It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Capri Grotowski, who is a FAU women's beach volleyball coach. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Brandon. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start coaching in college?
That's a funny story. I never really wanted to get into coaching, to be honest. I loved playing beach volleyball. In college, I played indoor because beach volleyball wasn't an option. So, but it's funny because nowadays my friends who still longtime friends from college who Capri, we knew you were going to be a coach ever since we played with you. I was like, no, what? Because I kind of went to a college where I was a big fish in a very, very, very small pond. And, I was the captain all 4 years, MVP all 4 years. But I had some great friends, and I still do have some great friends from college. And they're like, oh, yeah, for sure.
That's wonderful.
It is. And then after I graduated college, I went straight to beach volleyball, playing on the beach, playing with, as soon as I could, getting into the open and then the pros, the AVPs. And while doing that, I didn't make much money, as most beach players don't. But I had to work, and I worked to have money coaching beach volleyball players. Well, first it was indoor club, and then once beach volleyball was an option, I coached beach volleyball juniors. And it just kind of stuck, and I loved it, and I still do.
Can you talk about, of course, coaching the beach volleyball in 2006, the VB Beach?
So yeah, that was a juniors company that my husband and I started. We still have VB Beach, and I'm not coaching in juniors anymore so much, but my husband still runs it, and it's doing very well.
That's wonderful. Can you talk about what you've accomplished at FAU as the women's beach volleyball coach?
Yeah, so I came in and they had a program for 2 or 3 years, but it was really the indoor coach trying to coach beach and indoor. And so there wasn't a lot of effort because it's so much into the beach volleyball. So they would kind of have random practices and just go out and play. When I came, she's the indoor beach coach is actually who found me and hired me. Well, asked me to be hired and all that good stuff. And so I came into a team who I had never really seen before. I knew one of the girls, but a lot of them were kind of just there to have fun. And that was okay, but we weren't very good. We did get better quickly so my first season there was 2016 was the first season because I was there in 2015. So in 2016, we went 13-6, which was a pretty big improvement from years prior. And it was, just my first practice, I remember it distinctly. I was teaching them where to pass the ball. Don't pass it across the court, pass it forward, pass it in the middle. And the girls picked it up pretty quick. And so then we were able to kind of move up and on from there. So it was a bit of a challenge, but the girls, it was a really good time.
Can you talk about the 2017 and 2019 amazing season?
I can. So 2017, we had a bunch of really good athletes, good beach players. One team that comes to mind was our 1 seed, who was Megan Rice and Jess Kenlaw. They're still great players, and they were a true 1 seed for us. And then all we had to do because they won a lot of their games, and then all we had to do is win 2 others. I really appreciate, because Megan was a graduate student. She went to UNF. She played some of the club volleyball, beach volleyball. They didn't even have, I don't know if they did or not, but she was like born on the beach with her mom playing. And so she came to FAU for her 5th year because she didn't play at UF. She just went to school there. And they don't even have a beach volleyball team. But when she came down and she played for us, she was a very big impact, and she was a very good leader, which I think helped us out a lot in the sense of our culture, because before this, a lot of the girls who were on the team were kind of, again, just there for fun. Like, because when I came in 2015, I was too late to do any recruiting. And then when we got to 2016, I was just getting into the scoop of things. Like, this was my first college coaching job ever. I really didn't know what to expect or what to do. So I began, but then to be fair, I didn't get any of my recruits that were kind of top of line till 3 or 4 years later. Because when I first get on the scene, our team wasn't great. Who is FAU? I didn't even know they have a beach team. So it kind of escalated quite quickly. And I think that's just because myself and my other coaches were so knowledgeable in the beach game, when other universities kind of just took their indoor coaches who didn't know much about beach. They do a good job, but they don't know much about the game. And indoor and beach is totally different once you kind of get into it. You think it's like, oh, well, it's just outside. No, there's a lot more to it. And then our 2017 year was a lot of fun. It was a bit heartbreaking because we had a lot of very close wins, against top teams, like LSU, we were very close. And GSU, we were very close. Who else? FSU, a lot of top 10 teams. We went down 2 wins, 2 losses. And that last game, we lose by an extra point. And I couldn't get, by the end of the season, I'm like, well, ladies, at the conference championships, we lost to Georgia State, and same thing. It was a 2-2. We were down to our 1 seed in extra points, and it was going back and forth, 15-15, 15-16, 16-16. And then we ended up losing on a 1 ball that a defender dove for. And I don't know if she meant to or not. She probably did, but she put it over on 1 in the corner. And that's how we lost conference. It was just that year. Excuse me. It was that year. That's how the whole year went. And then I talked to one of our sports psych at FAU. Hold on 1 second. I talked to one of our sports psych at FAU, who I love and adore, and he was like, you know what, Capri? Sorry, I got some in my throat. Excuse me. I was talking to him, and he's like, you know what? And I was explaining the season to him, and he's like, a lot of great teams go through this before they actually get there. And I was like, well, that is very positive. That is what I'm going to take from this season. And then, you saw their season last year. It got cut short, but we were in a really, really good place.
Can you talk about, of course, the season getting cut short and how that impacted your players?
Oh, that was horrible. We had 11-1 going into this next tournament. It was at home. So we were expecting to be 15-1, but we were setting up for all the teams to come, and we got a phone call at practice saying that the weekend's canceled. And I was like, what? And then it was so late that some of the schools still came down before I could let them know it was canceled. And then I was like, well, okay. And then I talked to the team about it, because we really had no idea what was going on. I was like, well, I guess we're just going to take this next week off, and, I'll keep you guys posted. And yep, practice next week. Nope. So eventually, the team wasn't happy about anything, but I feel like they had a very positive attitude with all of it. We're in Florida, so they could go on their own. And to be fair, at that time, a lot of beaches were closed. But they handled it very well in a sense where the GPA stayed up high. And actually, this past year, we were the number one, or this past semester, we were the number one team at FAU with the GPA for the sports, which was exciting. We'd always end up losing to golf, who would beat us by like 0.2 or 3. But this year we got them.
That's amazing. What is the culture like that you've built for the beach volleyball at FAU?
So our culture, we've been working on very hard because it's not easy, especially when you have like your freshmen that you've recruited coming in and making the lineup above the juniors, above the seniors. But now we're at a really good place where our seniors are seniors and they're very good. Not that saying this is the first year, but this is kind of the first year where we don't have anybody that we're like, oh boy, okay, we're just going to have to work with her. Which is great because everybody's super competitive. Everybody's like understands how you play the game. They can serve, they can set, they can run plays. So it's a lot of fun. So our culture, like, it's to be our best. So like if you come out and play me and you're supposed to win, but you're supposed to like crush me, but you win by a few and you walk off the court, are you happy? And you're like, a lot of kids will say, no, not really. And then I'm like, okay, so did you do your best? No, we should have crushed them, coach. Okay, so next time, this is how that feels. Let's pick it up next time. And then when you go on the court and you play your best, you do so well, but then you lose by 2 points. Did you play your best? Yeah, coach, we did our best. We ran plays, we covered, we picked up what we were supposed to. They got us by 2. Okay, so you did your best. We did our best, coach. That's all we asked for. We can't ask for a team to go out and win every single game. That's just not feasible. A lot of times it comes down to those 2 points, and sometimes you get them, sometimes they get a let serve and it bounces in. Can't do much with that. That was a good serve, great play by them. So yeah, our culture, we check in. We have affirmations that we do. We have accountability buddies. And this year, I think like last year was wonderful. Everybody was bought in on the culture. And then this year, we're just improving it, learning from last year and like just making it better. So I'm really excited for the upcoming spring.
Can you talk about, of course, the recruitment process and what that's like?
Well, during COVID, it's not very exciting. But before COVID, we would reach out. We do recruit a lot of kids in Florida, but in Florida, we're competing against a lot of some other good teams to get the Florida kids. Because we have 4 very good programs in Florida alone. But so we have some kids from Texas, from New Jersey. We haven't pulled any kids from California, but we go out there each year to recruit. And it's interesting. I'm not sure why we haven't, but actually we may have one this coming year. So we do that, and we only get 6 scholarships, full rides, and it's an equivalency sport. So you can break the scholarships up so you can actually field a team. But it's difficult because we don't have the FAU admissions process. We don't have, we can't give out in-state tuition to everybody, which some schools can, especially for athletes. But it's good in a sense where we are in paradise. We sell that a lot because our campus is beautiful. Our coaches are experienced, and it's just a really fun time to be at FAU. Because it keeps growing and growing. If you see, we get all kinds of different donations for academics, and we have a lot of good programs. And then, of course, FAU and Boca Raton, you can't beat the campus. We have palm trees everywhere, and that's what the first thing that the recruits that come into state, they're like, the palm trees are beautiful. I was born and raised in Florida, so I'm very used to palm trees, but it's a big sell. believe it or not. We also go to different, they have different camps, all over the States. Like I've been up to Canada. We actually have 2 girls coming in from Prague next year, 2021, who we're very excited about. We have a girl on our team from England they have all played on the FIVB in the junior national tour. So it's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. What is the official visit process like?
The official visit. So the official visit, we're allowed to pay for the visit as FAU, but as the beach team, and then you come, and then you can stay on campus with the student host. We can take you out. We have limits as far as budget goes, but we can play for you, and I believe your family, your mom, dad, to fly to campus, to visit, to stay, and then to fly you home. Now, for a full ride, you don't have to do all of that. Sometimes we'll just pay for flights, and sometimes, we'll just, like, the kid will come down by herself and different things. But again, during COVID, we can't do any of it because it's a extended dead period from NCAA.
What advice would you give upcoming future beach volleyball players that are in high school that are looking to play in college?
I would give you advice as get to as many camps as you can. Reach out to the schools that you are very interested in. See, a really important thing that I tell all the recruits is that volleyball can't be everything. Like beach volleyball can't be everything, in a sense that if you go out to the courts and you have a bad day, you got to pull from something else, whether it's the movies, whether it's going hiking, whether it's going to the beach, depending on what you would like, what you love to do, because you got to pull from something. Like if beach volleyball is a bad day, that's okay. You can do all these other things. So maybe like lean towards a college of that realm. Like we always say, like, so if you're interested in, you love the beach, hey, we're your school. We're us and I believe Pepperdine are the closest to, like, less than 2 miles from the beach. I would say, email those coaches, send them videos, send them the year that you're graduating. And, if you don't hear back from them, that's okay. Coaches are busy, reach out again, send them video again until you get an answer. Like, hey, I get a lot of emails, but if we're already finished with the class, I will let them know. If we're not and we're interested in their video, we always ask for video before we go any further. If they don't have it, we'll ask them to come to a camp. But if we like them in the video, we'll ask them to come to camp as well.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give upcoming coaches that are looking to get into beach volleyball?
It's a different world in a sense where indoor volleyball, all the coaches are really kind of very competitive with each other. Out on the beach, we're very competitive with each other's teams, but afterwards we're like hanging out, we're saying hi, we're giving hugs. A lot of the coaches that I've played with before are coaching, which is a lot of fun. We look forward to like the recruiting trips because we know they'll be there. As far as like just, learn as much as you can. And one thing that really surprised me is that it's not just on the court is what you have to worry about, but you have to worry about however many girls on your team. It's usually, anywhere from like 15 to 20. Some schools have more than 20. My favorite number is 16, which is very hard to get. I'll get like, I'll plan on 16 and then I'll get 20 by the time it's ready. Or I'll, end up with 15 because she got hurt and she decided not to come, whichever. However, I would just, there's so much administration work that has to be done. It's not just, hey, let's meet at the beach. This is what we're gonna do for practice. Okay, see you next week. No, there's like, you have to clock every hour that you have with the girls. This is at a D1 level. I don't know what's up with like D2 and D3, but in Division 1, you have to, we use this program called Jump Forward. You have to log every hour that you're with the team and, where the team has to be and what they're doing. And it's really just to respect the students in their time, which is wonderful, but it's tough for coaches. And then, the admissions, there's a process, transfers, there's a different process. When you're traveling, you have to log a lot of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. But again, it's not just coaching in the sand.
That's wonderful. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the FAU Women's Beach Volleyball program at?
So the FAU Beach Volleyball program, they have an Instagram. I believe it's FAU Beach. FAUsports.com is where you can find our website. We have a Twitter, and I believe we have a Facebook. Just search FAU Beach.
Thank you again, Coach Caprio, for your interview, and best of luck in this upcoming season.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Hope to talk to you again.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at @talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Caprio, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you. See you later.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.